And so many people are about the latest and greatest fad, the latest training principles, the latest supplements, the latest diet, carnivore, keto, paleo, and they forget the big picture.
Latest shots.
I think part of it is that we live in a society of distraction now. You know, we have that drug, which is our device, where we can probably choose like 13 different drugs on it, Amazon, email, and we get all these alerts. And it's very hard for people to concentrate now. So people are searching for distraction. So they'll go for, hey, let's try this carnivore. And especially if their favorite influencer is pushing it, promoting it, that's all they need. You know, it's quite often you'd see back in the day, people would start dieting down for a show. But now, about 4 weeks out, they'd start listening to everybody, you know, as opposed to listening to their coach, for instance, and getting distracted. And now, you know, they've missed their peak or their point. And I think today they just search for that distraction, and maybe they search for what is deemed the easier way out.
Wow.
If you tell people, okay, let's do this sugar fasting diet that just become big a couple of months ago, sugar? Of course, damn, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, that means no suffering. Sure, I'll go for it. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I think it's a distraction from the, you know, the simplicity, because people like to overcomplicate things. They turn it into like a scientific conversation. Like some people would say to me, you know, I remember people saying to Branch, you know, huge legs, Branch Warren, you know, should my feet be pointed out or pointed forward or whatever when I'm doing leg pressing? He's like, just press, man. Just focus on failure. Who cares about everything else? If you create enough trauma, the body will respond. Now, I understand with what has changed is that we have a lot of quantification now. So we can quantify, are we overtraining? Are we pushing it a little bit too much? Is the sleep suffering? Is there a certain food group where I'm not going to get an insulin response to, but this one I do? For instance, you know, you can wear a CGM. So I think with those parts of biohacking and technology that we can include, then of course we're going to get better evolution. We're going to have more people saying to the natural athlete, you must be on steroids, because now we have more available to us to kind of evolve.
Yeah. Yeah. My takeaway from that was the influencer influence. And sometimes I even forget, because I'm not a huge consumer these days of social media content, but you realize how much pull people have. And one example I always think back to was during COVID. I remember seeing a video by Ariana Grande. Never listened to her, don't follow her, but she was promoting the COVID shots and the booster shots.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, she's a singer.
I remember Ice-T. He was doing the same.
Okay.
Like, Ice-T is the OG.
Yeah.
And he's doing
But it's
this.
the amount of pull they have. Even though people look up to her as a singer, they start listening to her in an area that she totally has no say. And it's amazing how many people still follow.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I always have that conflict as well when, you know, you'll get, you know, your favorite band start pushing some agenda, or they get into the political front. It's like, just stick to your lane, man.
Stick to your lane.
For real. Yeah. But people follow it. They listen to them. They look up to them and say, hey, these people know what they're talking about. I'm going to follow along with what they're saying.
That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I think people should be left to their own devices to make up their own decision, as opposed to getting influenced. You know, it's like if I talk about my supplements, I'm not pushing you to take those supplements. I'm just giving you the education. It's your unbiased decision whether you take it or not. Maybe you don't have the finances for it. Maybe you just don't like the flavors. I don't know. But it's your decision at the end of the day. All we can do is educate.
Yeah.
I love that.
You know, back in the day, I was taking supplements. I had no idea why I was taking them.
Same.
You know, you just think, wow, I've just spent $800 on them. It has to work.
Yeah.
Surely. And you find out that they didn't. You know, I would have been better off eating food.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
No, that's a good heart though at your core. It's just, it's the education. And that's why we love our industry here at InstaShred. It's just about impacting lives in the positive ways, because people want a result at the end of the day. They want to get further along. They want to live longer. They want to feel happier, healthier. They want to look better. And we get so caught up in the weeds of the nuances. Sometimes people, even what we're doing right now, we're cold plunge. People will reach out, well, what temperature should I have my cold plunge? And you ask them what they're doing. Are you even taking steps each day?
Yeah.
How many times a week are you working out? We're talking about the temperature of your cold plunge. Let's take a step back for a second. You know,